anyways, I've been kind of obsessed ever since I met you, honestly. And
Oh.
I've just kind of gone online, and I know your story kind of starts with like, $10 that you borrow for gas. Can
Mhm.
you kind of take us back to what the beginning of the science squad, what it brought it to what it is now, like how it started?
How it started.
Mhm.
So my background is in floors. So I used to be a
Mhm.
flooring rep for 10 years. And that's how I met most of the realtors that I know
Yeah.
is through
The
flooring.
flooring.
When I did leadership, I was still there. And when I was kind of out marketing, I would meet a lot of realtors. And I met a stager one day, and I was just blown away by his business.
Yeah.
And he was the largest stager in our area at that time. He had a warehouse, and he took me there, and it's like a store. It was aisles of pillows and artwork,
Oh
and I'm like,
wow.
"Oh my god, you do this for a living? This is like how you make money?"
Right.
I didn't know that you can make money doing this because I was already doing, decorating for my friends and family for free, which we always do something that we're good at for free for
For friends.
everybody else, for
Exactly.
friends.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is so cool. This will be great to do. And never thought that I would be doing it, but it just happened that way. So he ended up closing his business and moving away. He auctioned off all of his inventory.
Wow.
And all the realtors that I knew were freaking out. They were like, what am I going to do? I don't have a stager. Oh my God, Jason's gone. And they were like, who's going to help us now? And I was
Yeah.
raising my hand like, me, I could try to help you.
Yeah.
I didn't know the first thing about this business,
Right.
but I knew I'd already been doing it kind of
Right.
as a hobby. I started advertising that I was a stager
Yeah.
online on Facebook,
Right.
and a investor called me and said, "Hey, I need a house in Rockwall staged,"
Stage.
and it was 8 miles from my house. I lived in Roy City. And she said, I need a house staged pretty fast. Can you come out Friday and give me an estimate? I was like, oh
Right.
my God, this is it. This is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the time, my ex-husband had control of our finances, so
Mhm.
my flooring check would go to his account. And I asked him for $10 gas to
Yeah.
get to my first appointment. And he said, for what? And I told him
Yeah.
I wanted to do staging.
Staging.
And he was like, that sounds stupid. That's not going to be successful. I'm not giving you $10 for that.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, kind of in my feelings. Of course,
Right. Of
everybody
course.
would be
Yeah.
if somebody tells you that this is
You
the
can't
closest
do
person to
something.
you
Exactly.
that says no, that's going to be stupid. And I call my mom, of course. Everybody calls their mom.
Their mom.
And I was like, hey, I need $10. And this is before Cash App and all that. So she had to
Right.
Western Union me
Oh
$10
wow.
from Oak Cliff
Yeah.
to Roy
Yeah.
City. And I got the money. I met the lady at the house, and she hired me immediately. And
Wow.
then I was like, wait, this is it. Like she trusts me. I'm going to do a
Yeah.
great job. Whatever I have to do to make this work, I'm going to make this work. Went home and robbed my house. Like all the
Oh my
artwork and
god.
dining chairs and
Yeah.
everything was gone. My kids came home. They were like, did we get robbed? Like, no, I'm doing something called stage. It'll be back in
Yeah.
30 days. I'm just like trying to make everything,
Right.
whatever I could do to make this house amazing, I
Right.
did. And the house sold immediately. And she started telling all her friends. And that's how I got into staging.
That's so
Wow.
awesome.
Isn't
That
that
is so
crazy?
Wow.
awesome. And I honestly feel like if you weren't in the position that you were, like struggling or whatever,
Yes.
it you sometimes don't put the same amount of effort into things.
No.
And so that's why I tell people it's so I admire people so much because when they're struggling, that's just for you. You have to discover your potential because if it hits you when you're struggling like that,
Yeah.
that's when you're gonna make it the most rewarding and more successful as long as you're focused on it.
Exactly.
So
And
I
if you
love
don't
that.
want it that bad, so something's handed to you. So
Like they're
somebody would have
not.
given me a business. I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have wanted put as much passion into it because it was given to me. But
Yeah.
this is something that I had to make work. And this is
Right.
I didn't have anything at that point.
Right.
So I agree. When you work hard for it,
Mhm.
it's your baby. Like
Yeah.
this is what you want to see
Exactly.
come alive.
Yeah, because you're trusting everything you had, whether it was $10, whether it was the
Yeah.
furniture in the home that you had
Yes.
to remove from it. I think that just speaks louder than anything else because whoever was getting that service, the homeowner, she probably didn't know
She didn't
everything that
realize.
was
No,
going
no,
on.
no. She didn't.
But and so it's but yeah, I think those are the occasions where you could see that when you're truly doing it from the
Mhm.
heart and you're trying to make something work,
Mhm.
you treat it like a baby, like you said,
Yeah,
and it'll work out.
that's
It'll work
right.
out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you've grown so much since.
It's crazy.
Yeah, on TV and everything.
Yeah.
I need your autograph before you leave.
You sound like my mom. She's always like, sign this, sign that. Girl,
Oh.
you ought to have a stack of stuff by now. It's
Probably
crazy.
already signed
Yeah.
and everything. Oh my god. So when you started, I guess after that appointment, did you immediately like made the design squad, or was it just like something that came down the road?
So at first I was in style staging. So I was
Yeah.
in style staging
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
while. That was when I was still with the flooring company. So about 3 years after that first appointment, I was still staging and doing my full time job. So
Right.
I was still selling floors, meeting realtors as flooring rep.
Right.
And then whenever I had the opportunity, I would be like, hey, by the way, I'm staging houses.
Oh wow.
So that was kind of like my side
Mhm.
thing. My twins were about to go to college. I think they had already
Mm.
left. And my youngest, she was going into her senior year of high school. And that's when I did leadership at Metrotex. And at this point, I was thinking my staging business is
Right.
growing, and I'm doing this flooring thing, but I can't represent both things
Both.
because I
Mhm.
don't want my audience to be confused. So
Right.
what should I do? So I was kind of at the turning point then
Mhm.
where I needed to figure out like which one I wanted to do. And the owner of the company kind of made this choice for me. He
Oh
let me
wow.
go.
Oh
Oh wow.
wow.
And he called me one day and said, "Hey, God told me that this is not what you're supposed to be
Wow.
doing. You're supposed to be staging." And he said, "At the end of September, it'll be your last day." And he's on the phone, and I'm like freaking out. He's just going through the motions, telling me what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Wait, are you firing me?" He
This
said,
is
"No, I'm not firing you, but
yeah.
this is what you're supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
Nikki." And I'm like, "Oh my
Do
gosh,
you think he
no."
just
Letting
felt
it
like
fly.
yeah, do you think
Yeah.
it was just kind of him realizing that maybe if you were to never quit the flooring business, you would never see your full potential with the staging?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I feel like I would still be there today
Yeah.
Yeah.
had he not done that because I love the company so much. It felt like
Yeah.
when it first happened, it felt like somebody died.
Yeah.
If you know when you're so loyal to something and somebody and
Yeah.
you're separated from it, you just don't like you've lost. And
Right.
I felt like I'd lost an entire company of people that I loved. I
Mhm.
love working there. They let me run my basically my own business through
Right.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't ask me for reports and ask me where I'm spending money. They didn't care
Yeah.
any of that. They was like, "Nikki, go out and get business." And I did, and they let me
That's
just do what I
awesome.
want. So I loved my job. So
Right.
I probably would still be there because
Be
I
there.
just loved it so much and I loved everybody that was
Right.
there. But he was the one that said, let me take this security away from you,
Yeah.
and you can see your full potential if you are not leaning on us so much.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that he did that.
Right.
That was
And I
cool.
think this
Yeah.
was another moment where it's like compared to the $10
Yes.
needed for
Yeah.
gas, because it
Yeah.
was just kind of like
Yeah.
you went on defensive mode
Oh
again,
my
because it
gosh.
was just kind of like, okay, now I'm losing my steady income that I'm getting. So I have to figure it out on my
So
own.
so
Yeah.
that was like what, 2016?
2017.
2017. Okay.
October
Wow.
Yeah.
2017. And
That is not
that's
even
when
10
he's
years ago,
I know,
Nikki.
it's crazy. 2017, and I was just like, what am I going to do? Like I have to make this work now. Like
Right.
it's growing. I can see it growing, but
Hmm.
it was still a hobby at that point. It was
Right.
not like a full-time anything, and I just
Right.
I didn't know what it would look like going forward. And then after I left there, that's when we changed the name to Design Quad.
To sign
Wow.
quiet. Okay.
Yeah.
So like how long did it take you to kind of have more steady, kind of like, okay, this is going to be my full-time job? Was it that first year after you left the flooring company?
It was pretty much already in motion when
Okay.
he
When
said
he let
that,
it
when
go.
he did that.
So he saw it. He was
He
just like,
saw it.
she's going to,
He
yeah.
knew that this was happening, and all of his friends. He was an investor, and I'd stayed for
Right.
him, some of his houses.
Yeah.
So he knew everything I was doing. Wasn't like I was kind of hiding it from him,
Yeah.
and he knew like when I would stage, I would go after work and go pick houses up or stage houses. So he knew all that. He he just basically was like, I know that she has more potential, and
Right.
I have to kind of get her
Let
out
it
of her
go.
own
Yeah.
Yeah.
way, which I'm glad he did. But in that June of that year,
Hmm.
2017, I hired two people. So the marketing rep, the person that I needed to
Right.
be the face, and she did both marketing and my back office. And then a
Hmm.
stager came. She was moving from Iowa. she said she was getting a divorce and she had 2 kids, which made me so nervous. I was like, I don't know if I can afford you
Support
guys.
exactly, yeah.
You have kids. I mean, that just frightened me to death.
Yeah.
But I told her, come for about a month, let's figure it out. And once I removed myself from those 2 positions, because when you're starting a business, you're everything. You're the
Yeah. Oh
janitor,
my god,
you're
yes.
the cook, you're the
Yep.
everything. So
Mhm.
when I took those 2 things off of my plate, when she was able to, do invoices and, taking all that stuff, reports
Mhm.
and that kind of thing, and then the actual staging, from June to October, I probably had grown 10 times,
Wow.
but
Wow,
in
that's
those
awesome.
months. And that's what he saw. He was like, everybody's talking about your staging company. And he knew then that
Yeah.
that was what was holding me back.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it was almost immediate, where
Yeah.
that $750 a week I was making at
Right.
the flooring company,
Mhm.
I called him the next October 2018, and I had almost written $1 million in staging.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
It's
That's
crazy.
so
That's a crazy
incredible.
It
story.
was,
That's an amazing story.
it's like
But to me,
crazy.
it's like, because like what you were saying about the single mom or the recently divorced, and you were
Mhm.
concerned about that. I feel like some people, it tends to, when you're doing the opposite, where you're just like, well, I'm just going to hire her. And if I give her 10 hours, I'll give her 10 hours. And I have to, if
Right.
I pay her $100 a week, well, hey, that's all I have.
Right.
Right. But just you genuinely being concerned about like her future, that's hard. I think that has a lot to do with like culture and like
Yes.
where you're coming from,
Mhm.
I think those people that think about others like that are the ones that do
That
the
grow.
best. Yeah.
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 And get to grow like that, because it's hard, and it's like you said, when you struggle to get to a point, you're gonna work, you're gonna hustle so hard to
Yes.
try to make it.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's what I like with our, I mean, I have a 12-year-old, and I'm always like, okay, I want him to be better than I am or that I was. But
Mhm.
then, like, where's the line? Like, because there has to be, it's hard because you don't want him to struggle like you do. But
Right.
then there's so much reward from going through,
To
struggles
work
like
for it.
that.
You have to work
Exactly.
for it. I think in this generation, these kids are different. Like
Yeah.
they're different. They're seeing different things. They have way more privileges. They have more access to things. So we're just raising different kids right now than we were, because our
Right.
parents, they're like, hey, we couldn't say, hey, give me $20. They'd be like, go mow the yard,
Yeah.
go wash the dish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was
Right.
things that came along with it. But
Yeah.
I think that this generation, we give them so much, they're not working for anything.
Right.
They don't see the hard work that it takes to make things work.
Yeah.
So I think that that's one thing. If you're starting them off, young, teaching them how to
Yeah.
work for what their goals are, then
Right.
they'll the sky's the limit for them.
I
Right.
mean, like your
Yeah.
daughters, they saw you
Right?
start from the bottom, right? How
They
are
did.
they like
They
now?
they are all like very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna
they're
say,
all
yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to start a cleaning business, and I'm going to,
Yeah.
they've got all kinds of
Yeah.
goals. Like they work regular jobs, but they're also doing other things, which I
Right.
think is so cool,
It
because
is.
I don't know if they hadn't seen that. I don't know if they would be
Yeah.
doing the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah. You.
And honestly, when you struggle, and I don't know if it was like that with you, Frank, but because me and Frank, we were like trying to even go to colleges and kind of educate, our Latino communities, our younger generation, to just have that you can be an entrepreneur and be very successful
yeah,
without just having a job.
that's right.
And so to me, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I was just like, okay, I got to go to school and I have to get a degree. And if I can't afford it, oh my God, I'm going to be broke for the rest of my life.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Like, I never really thought that you could do a business and be successful as well and do something that you actually enjoy doing, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
for me, I think that's it's very important for people to see that, because it's there, you can, whatever it is that you like,
Yeah.
whatever it is, or whatever you have the chance on getting into,
Hmm.
like you said, house cleaning or office cleaning. I mean, that can turn into something that's huge.
Huge. Yeah.
You just got to do it the right way.
Right.
And so that takes me to my next question, which is, you guys are now obviously recognized as one of the largest like staging companies nationwide.
Yes.
How did you get that, and what are your, how do you maintain the quality of your work, obviously?
So that's a crazy question, because I don't remember when it happened.
Yeah.
So I guess about 4 or 5 years ago, when our business was growing, I will tell you, COVID.
Oh,
So
okay.
COVID was our biggest year by far. Probably
COVID.
will never ever see that again because remember how the houses were moving really
Yeah.
fast, multiple
Mhm.
offers, they were
Yeah.
over asking, there was
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah.
But people knew that was happening and they would want their houses to look the best they could.
Right.
So everybody was staging. It was not an
Mm.
option. So I was buying furniture. I remember buying furniture every day that summer,
Oh my
Wow.
every
god.
single day.
Wow.
And we were doing, 3 and 4 houses a day. it
My
was it was
gosh.
crazy. Now we do 6 a day, 5 days a
Yeah.
week, every day. So that kind of grew us to where,
Right.
oh, we can do more than two, we can do
Right.
3, we can do 4. So it was kind of like stretching us.
Right.
But it was a scary time for me because all of my money was out, like
Right.
all the money was out in furniture. Then
Mhm.
we had to make sure that it was moving somewhere else. So it was like it was kind of shaky then because
Right.
I'm thinking I don't want to have to take out a loan. I've never had to do
Right.
that. I've never taken out a loan, had to do any of that because we make sure that the money that we're making is going into like the next house. So
Right.
we're recycling and everything. But it was really crazy in 2020. And
Mhm.
then I hired another lady named Mary. Mary came in and she works for Elite Foundation now. You may have
Okay.
met her before.
I think I
She
have.
is a hound dog. When it comes to sales,
Yeah.
she can sell anything. So she was the one that stretched us to 6 because
Wow.
she would just put them on the calendar. Oh yeah, we can do it. We'll be there tomorrow. I'm like, Mary, you can't tell these people, what if we don't have the stuff? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
but she was like so aggressive when it came to sales.
Mhm.
She grew our business to what it is now. So we have over 300 houses staged all over North
Right.
Texas at one time.
Right.
Wow.
So it's 300 houses of inventory is
That
crazy.
is
And then
crazy.
and they're just recycling 6. We do 6 a day. There may be 4 that are coming out of the warehouse and 2 that are coming from other houses that are going into,
Wow.
so it's just a whole bunch of moving around, a lot of logistics, but it's
How
fun.
big is your
So
warehouse?
our warehouse is only, I say, only 10,000 square feet. People think,
Yeah.
oh, that's big, but
Yeah.
we have
Not
outgrown
for
this thing.
Yeah. No, that's
300
big
Yeah,
though.
like
yeah, for
homes
300
worth.
houses.
Yeah.
So I tell them if they're not out, if they're in the warehouse, they're not making money, so they need to
Right.
be out. So
Yeah.
we need to be trying to figure out how to stage 6
Yeah.
every day.
Wow.
So
And
it's
and
crazy.
what other cities are you in?
We're here in Atlanta, so we
Okay.
have an Atlanta chapter. It's not as big as our, they're just
Yeah.
kind of starting out, but Atlanta's market is good, just
Right.
Yeah.
like the Dallas market.
Right.
I think Atlanta, Denver, and Dallas are kind of similar
Similar
markets,
markets. Yeah.
and they have a lot of real estate selling
Yeah.
there, and that's going to be a big market too whenever they get growing a little bit
Right.
more.
So now that I'm hearing like what happened in 2020, I think we all, oh my God, 2020 surprised
It
me
was
big time
crazy.
because I was like, okay, like, what are we going to do now? People are not going to buy houses. And then the opposite
The
happened. Like
opposite.
everybody was buying houses. I
Mhm.
remember I had one of my friends under contract in March. And then he was like, I think it was like 2,600 square foot home in Anna. And he was like, I'm nervous. Maybe I shouldn't buy or whatever. And I was like, no, Tony, just go ahead and buy it.
Do
you
it.
know, um, this will eventually end or whatever. But he immediately got like within a year almost $100,000 equity because of that,
Yeah.
because the prices just kept
Yeah.
going up and up.
They're
So
crazy.
yeah,
Anything in
20.
Collin County, if I had the money, I'd been buying in
Mhm.
Collin
Yeah.
County because
Yeah,
everything is like double
Yeah.
of what it
yeah,
was
Yeah.
back
yeah.
then.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So,
My
that's
sister's
true.
house, she bought in 2020,
hmm
October 2020,
hmm
and it went up over 100,000
Jesus,
really quick too.
Yeah,
Uh,
crazy,
yeah.
she didn't want to buy
That
there.
was
crazy.
crazy.
She did.
She didn't want to buy in Garland. And I was like, buy it there. It's going to go up.
And
Yes.
And it
that's
went
the
up.
thing, the things that
Exactly.
are scarier, like
Mhm.
she was saying about like because basically all the money that you were getting in, you were reinvesting
Putting
in
it back
Yes.
out. Yeah.
and so that's a risk.
Oh my
And for
gosh.
for you to
So scary.
actually like take that and during COVID.
Right?
So like for you, a lot of people would have just probably stepped back,
Yeah.
And
And
so
like, oh
that's
no, we
what
can't do it.
exactly.
Mhm.
So I think that's or like you're saying, the other stager or the salesperson that was helping you, like booking 6 appointments, that's like pushing your limit. But at the
Yes.
same time, like that's what it looks like when you open a business, and that's what it looks like to ask, like to grow
Yeah.
within the business because it's gonna be chaotic.
It's gonna
Like
be
Yeah.
it's gonna be
crazy.
crazy.
And I said at that time, I remember saying to myself, "These are the problems you asked for. You
Hmm.
wanted these problems. They're
Exactly.
they're here now. So,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Are you gonna run from it,
Right.
are you gonna keep going? And I was like, we don't have a choice. And a lot of people, when the initial shutdown happened, my lead stager, the one that moved from
Yeah.
Iowa, she came. She was like, "I'm going to work. I don't know about y'all." And so we had to figure it out. Like everybody
Right.
is scared to go to work. She was like, "I'm going. Like
Yeah.
we got people, we got appointments.
Right.
I'm going." So that was another thing that kind of like, hey, we have a service. Like our
Right.
realtors are dependent on us because they're calling freaking out. "Oh my God, we supposed to have pictures. Our photographer,"
Yeah.
and I know it's not curing cancer, like it's not that
Yeah.
serious,
Yeah.
but we don't want to let anybody down.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
the ones that they rely
Rely
on
on.
for everything. So we want to make sure that we're still providing that service.
Right.
But it was a wild,
How
Yeah.
many
wild
how many
Yeah.
time.
people were in your team that time?
Um, it's about 15 of us
Wow.
now. And we have two sides. So it's
Okay.
we do the staging side, and then we do also do flooring and renovations.
Okay.
So we have two sides of
Right.
our business, and it's fun and crazy. Like
I bet.
we have had a lot of situations that I
Yeah.
think we need to have a show or something
Like,
because
yeah.
it's crazy. Like we've had the police called on us,
Oh my
people
God.
thinking that we're trying to
Oh, like stealing
like
the furniture
move
or something.
in or something. No, we're like, wait, we are what is it called when the people go in the house and they
Like
live
hoarders
there, like
or
Hoard No, not
no?
hoarding.
what is it
What is?
called when you live there but you really not supposed to be there?
What's that
Oh my
word?
Oh, it's a
God.
word,
Yeah,
and it's
I
at the
know.
tip of
I
my tongue. I
cannot.
can't think
Yeah,
of
but
it.
I know exactly what you're talking
But
about
that's
now.
what
Yeah.
they thought we were
Oh
doing.
my
So this
God.
lady was like, "No, they would have never signed a contract for this. I feel like you're trying to get in there." And I'm like, "What? We have a contract, late. Like
Yeah.
we have some stories.
That
It's
is
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Why
Oh
don't you
my
do it?
God.
I don't
You
know.
already
We
have access
should.
to it, right? You've done that
We
before.
So,
should.
I mean,
We
that
should.
takes me like, I guess to, because you've done like TV appearances
Yes.
before. And what did you learn about like storytelling about what you see on TV versus what's in the real life? And like, how did it affected your client pipeline?
So I think that we did get business from
Yeah.
being
Mm.
on the show. So we did 3 shows, two on HGTV, Buy It or Build It, and then the other one's called Flip to a Million, which was my favorite show.
Oh, okay.
And then the other network was A&E. We did Zombie House Flipping Dallas.
Okay.
So we did a whole season of all three of those shows. TV is fake.
I know, right?
So but people what people don't know is
Mm-hmm.
there's so much storytelling behind
Right.
it. There's all of these setup scenarios. Like
Yeah.
none of this is real. You're not getting a whole kitchen remodel for five
Right.
thousand dollars. Like all of
No.
this stuff that they see, which makes
Our job
buyers
harder
and
too.
sellers unrealistic. Like it makes your job
Yeah.
hard because they feel like what they see on TV is real and
Right.
but when you see the behind the scenes of it, it's
Right.
so crazy.
Yeah.
I really, really loved working
Yeah.
on A&E. Like that was my favorite network because they were so laid back and cool. And
Right.
HGTV had a little bit more
Yeah.
rules.
Mm-hmm.
They were a lot stricter, so it was kind of harder
Yeah.
for us to kind of navigate that. But A&E, they were just like whatever y'all want to do. Like get in, get out. It was
Yeah.
so cool. I loved working with them. So
That's
we're
awesome.
in talks of doing another show on
Well,
there.
and
That's cool.
whenever I
That's
see
cool.
the like the shorts and stuff, I
Yeah.
know that you were doing it with one girl that she's a real estate agent.
Chauncey.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love her
she's
too.
awesome.
So, I
I
love
love
her
her.
videos. I love everything on Instagram, but I'm really like when you're genuine like that, it
Hmm.
just attracts people, and I feel like that's what when it comes to TV, obviously it's entertainment and it's
Yes.
fake. It's there to entertain you, but at
Hmm.
the end of the day, you enjoy people that are true to themselves
Right.
and that
And
are
how she
just
is
telling you
on
blunt.
social media,
Yes, I
that's
love I
her.
love her.
She is so genuine, so real, and I love doing the show with her because like she told their story. So
Exactly.
she didn't let the narrative be something else and
Yeah.
make it look, not real. She was like, "Yeah, we don't have no mirrors up in here yet,
Yeah.
but we're still gonna film, whatever
Yeah,
was
yeah,
happening." So
yeah.
she's the real
I
deal.
mean, you're very genuine. I mean, we hadn't seen each other in a few
I
years, and when we
know.
ran into each other again, was it when we did a happy hour,
We
right,
had
with
the
Jennifer?
lunch.
I
Uh-huh.
hadn't seen her in like 5 years,
I
Yeah.
but
know.
I've seen you on social media, right? But not in
Mhm.
person. We hadn't ran
Right.
into each other. and it felt like it never.
Right. We never
Yeah,
missed a
yeah,
beat. Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that's why you.
yeah,
That's how genuine you
yeah.
are. That you're still the same person I remember.
Yes.
Like, we
Yes.
can still talk to you.
Yeah,
Right? Oh,
like I
no,
can
I
call her.
am.
Hey, can you do this for
I
us?
am.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always tell people, they're like, "Oh my God, you've been on TV," and I'm like, "I am nobody." My husband told me one time years ago. He said, "You're gonna be really famous, and you're not gonna be able to go anywhere, not even Target." I said, "Target? You're gonna take Target away from me? What? That's not right." So
Yeah.
I'm like that. I've only been recognized one time.
Yeah, no.
One time, this girl was in Domino's in Greenville, Texas,
Wow.
and I was waiting on my pizza. And she walked in the door. She said, "Oh my God." And I looked around at the clerk like, "Oh my God, do we need to
What
run?
happened? Yeah.
Like, what's happening?" And she said, "Are you Nikki?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh
it was it was so
That's
strange,
funny.
but it was a cool moment. And
That's
I'm
cool.
like,
Yeah.
that is
my
just
god.
so crazy to
Yeah,
me. I don't I still, when people ask for a picture and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, I'm just Nikki from Pleasant Grove. Like, I'm still me.
but that's what makes you special.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just don't change
because
that.
it's your essence
Yeah.
and it's you. So
Yeah. I remember when she
So
told me
true.
she met you. She's so cool. And I was like, yeah, I know her. I know Nikki.
I was like, she was doing cartwheels at the cellos.
I was like, yeah, it sounds like her.
I love a
Yeah.
cartwheel.
Mm,
I will do it anywhere. I
yeah,
love
You were a
yeah.
cartwheels.
cheerleader, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, I can't even do cartwheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's awesome to hear. So we've used obviously the sign squat for a lot of. We did it for one of our flips, and then we
Yes.
did it for a lot of our clients actually in Plano and I think Richardson. And so I
Oh,
mean, it's honestly it's super worth it. It's
thank
very affordable,
you.
and the fact that we can stay with the furniture until it sells, that's something that nobody else is doing. How is it in today's market since the houses are on the market for a lot longer?
Yeah.
How has that affected your business?
Not really. So the reason why I did that,
Mhm.
when I first started, I had a lot of investor clients, like the first lady that
Right.
called me. And I know, even in my flooring days, that investors are just looking at their bottom line. Like, they
Mhm.
don't
Mhm.
want to pay a monthly fee, and they don't want to be bothered. They just want price. They want to know the price. They want to
Mhm.
know, how long it'll be there and when can you get it in there. That's the this baseline of their business. And I wanted to be as investor friendly as I could be, and
Right.
that was how I set up my model. I can tell you that other stagers across the country hate me. They hate the
Yeah.
way I do
Yeah.
business. They think it's silly. They think it's not right, and I'm watering down the industry.
Mhm.
For me, I didn't have to get rich on every job. Like, that,
Right.
their goal is charge as much as you can,
Exactly.
which I agree with. Charge what you think you're worth.
Mhm.
But for me, I just want to be able to provide a service that is investor friendly or my customer friendly. Not even
Mhm.
necessarily investors, but people that are staging their homes. They have to
Mhm.
come out of a lot of money when
Yeah.
they're selling. So I'm thinking about them first, and that's
Mhm.
how I kind of came up with it. Until the property sells, I don't have to pay anybody. I don't owe any credit cards. I don't owe
Right.
any on loans or anything on this stuff.
Mhm.
So I've always said it can stay until it sells. We don't have a we don't have a problem. We have houses selling all the
Mhm.
time. So we have seen a slowdown because the
Mhm.
houses are
Yeah.
sitting longer,
Right.
but we still, still have the 6 a day. We still have
Mhm.
things moving. So whenever those houses do
Right.
close, we can still pick those up. So I do we can feel a shift,
Yeah.
I think, a little bit more before everybody else, because
Right.
we know when houses, right at the beginning of school, we
Right.
probably had 15 pickups every day. Like,
Oh
that's
wow.
that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
week,
Wow.
because houses, of course, everybody's waiting to buy their
Mhm.
house right before school.
Cool.
So we had all of these houses that had closed at one time. So our warehouse was full. I was like, this got to go.
Yeah.
So, but we can feel when that
The
shift
shift.
happens.
Yeah.
So I think that, everything is right now is our, we'll get busy right up until like the second week of December, and then
Right.
it'll die down, and then
Mhm.
January 1st, people call, I need a house staged today,
Yeah.
because then they're back in work mode. So we'll
Exactly.
slow down for the holidays, of course, but I think it's like any
Yeah.
business. It has its ups and
And
downs.
downs.
Um, like I said, COVID was crazy for us. The next year was crazy. I mean, we always know when the slow times are. Summer's always wild,
Yeah.
and then it slows down right by the fair. So when the fair
Right.
comes, which is crazy, the
That's weird.
fair
Yeah, I wouldn't think
affects
that. Yeah.
every business, every kind of business. You don't have showing as many showings during the fair because people
My
don't want to see.
God.
They are worried about weekends going to the Texas OU game. Like if you
Yeah.
watch that, we have in our market, we have times that people want to do the things that are happening in Dallas. So it
Wow.
affects everybody's
It
business,
affects.
which is
Wow. So the
crazy.
World Cup's gonna
Yeah.
affect.
Oh, World
Yeah.
Cup is going to, everything's going to shut
Yeah.
down. Like
Yeah.
our whole Metroplex is going to shut down for
Yeah.
that. It is
Yeah.
going to be
Wow.
all soccer for, are they here for a month?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
I think
month.
so.
There's like nine
Yeah.
nine games here,
Yeah.
8 or 9 games here.
It,
So
Yeah.
it's
that's a lot
going
of
to
games.
It's
be,
gonna
Yeah.
get
and
really
there's going to
busy.
be billions of dollars
Yeah.
being spent here.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
people with Airbnbs, all
Yeah.
those, I mean, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people, restaurants. It is just going to be a great
Yeah.
time for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited
I
about
Yeah.
can
that.
see
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
that.
Yeah.
so
You're gonna be
excited.
I
crazy
can
busy.
see that.
It's going to be fun. It's really going to be an amazing time.
It will be. I
Yeah.
think what I'm thinking about, like right now, about obviously we can see and feel the shift, but at the end of the day, I feel like this is a market where you have to stage.
You
If you're
have
not
to.
staging,
Yeah.
then the houses are not going to move
Yeah.
because you need to stand out from your competition. And so I feel like at the end of the day, you are being it's an opportunity for you guys to even grow further because
Yeah.
it's needed.
It
We
is.
need the staging, we
Yeah.
need top notch, like, service for our sellers in order
Yeah.
for to sell those houses and move.
It does. I tell people a lot of times, I do this design trends class and I talk a little bit about staging in there. And the main thing that I tell them is if people are walking through a house and it's empty, they're
Mhm.
going to nitpick the house because
Oh
they don't have
yeah,
nothing else to look at. So they're going to say,
exactly.
oh, these vents are dirty. Oh, there's a crack right there. Look at the
Mhm.
corner. There's dirt in the
Yeah.
corner. So they are going to pick out
Mhm. Yep.
everything that's wrong with the house and not necessarily connect to the house because they're
Right.
now they're looking for stuff.
Right.
So not that we're trying to deceive them or anything,
Mhm.
but we're just trying to get them to imagine themselves living there.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the furniture there, they can be like, "Oh, we're gonna hang out here, watch our movies." Now they're picturing themselves in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
But if it's empty, they don't have anything to imagine.
To imagine.
You know.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
And
like
yeah.
living room, master bedroom,
Yes.
bathrooms, right?
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
main areas,
Yeah.
dining rooms, a lot of
Yeah.
kitchen sales
Yeah.
sell houses.
Yeah.
So we make sure we do bar stools and
Yeah.
accessories because people come in, especially women, they'll be like, "Oh, I'll be cooking my family meals in here." Like they're
Yeah.
imagining their life.
Yeah.
So we just want to paint that picture where they feel like, okay, this is where we want to live. Hey
Yeah.
kids, go pick your room out. Like that's what we want the result to be.
Right. No, and it works. I had not gone to IKEA in a while, and I went to IKEA with my son,
Yes.
and I was like, oh my god!
It's
Like
so
it's
cute.
sometimes furniture that I wouldn't even think that I would get, but because I see it staged and it's like it looks so
Yes.
nice with the combination of everything that they're using, and I'm like, okay, I may need that.
Right.
So it makes sense, and yeah, for sure, it's a distract. Especially, I've worked with a lot of investors sometimes, and I have a thing with baseboards because when they don't change the baseboards, I'm like, come on, like
That
change the
does that does bother
baseboards,
you, right? She's
please.
always
No.
telling me
It
baseboards.
Right.
Yeah.
bothers
And it's a
me.
big deal. Like baseboards can be
Yeah, because they could remodel the whole house, and if they had those little
The
bitty
thin
like
ones,
little
yeah.
tiny.
baseboards, I'm like, oh,
The
like
rounded
that just
edges.
made it look
Yes. You do
oh
not want that.
Yeah.
No rounded
no.
edges.
So, so I remember we were doing something like that. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe we can just stage it for it to look better or whatever.
Mhm.
We ended up, he agreed and we went ahead and changed the baseboards. But I'm like, come
Yes.
on, like
Yeah.
we got to do the baseboards.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
baseboards.
It's the small things like that that can be changed.
Yeah.
I tell people light bulbs, like make
Mm-hmm.
sure all
Oh
the
my
light
God.
bulbs
Yeah.
and make sure they're not yellow
Yeah.
because if they lean a little bit yellow, they can make
Yeah.
the whole house look dingy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
what color is this?
Right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so light bulbs make a big difference and
Yeah.
just small stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No, we had a big difference on the flip that we had in Dallas. We kind of bought it like when the market was starting to shift.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like it was in the market for a bit longer than we wanted it to. But I remember it was vacant. And then when we had it staged, and I think it was the first time that, I used you guys and I called and everybody was so nice. I remember like the truck coming in, all the movers were there. So, I was there for a little bit and then I had to leave early. But when I came back the next morning, I was showing the pictures
Yeah.
to everybody at the office, and they're like, "Oh my god, it looks completely different." And I was like, "Exactly. That's why we needed to
That's
stage
why you do
it."
it. And our movers have been with me from the beginning. So I had my first big job that I was doing. I remember not wanting to send this invoice because it was like over the amount that I'm usually used to. I think it was like 4,500,
Mhm.
$4,000, and I was. It took me like hours to send this invoice
Oh
because I
my
was like, they're gonna
gosh.
say no.
Yeah.
And I bought a new couch for that house because I needed
Mhm.
like a new piece of furniture.
Right.
And the delivery guys that brought it were my movers,
Oh,
Oh.
and
wow.
that was my very first like big job. And Alex, the owner of the company, he said, "How often do you do this?" And I
Mhm.
said, "Oh, like once a week." Like at that time,
Yeah.
I was still renting U-Hauls and pulling furniture
Oh
off
my god.
myself.
Yeah.
Like he saw me pull a mattress off. He was like, "Wait," I said, "I'm used to it. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
used to doing this." And he said, "How often do you do it?" And he said, "Call me. I'll help you." And I
Mhm.
said, "Well, how much is that gonna cost? 'Cause I don't got no money." He said, "He said I'll help you." And the next time I got a staging job, I did not
Mhm.
want to call U-Haul, get a U-Haul. I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm over it. So I called him. I said, "Hey, how much are you going to charge me?" And he
Yeah.
told me, and I was like, "That's not that bad."
Yeah.
And that first day, met him and his brother-in-law,
Mhm.
Jose, and they are like my family. We
Oh
do
wow.
everything together. We do weddings and baby showers and
Yeah.
Christmas, and we literally do. We are a family.
Yeah.
And his sister is married to Jose, like our main mover,
Oh,
and
okay.
their entire family, both of their kids have worked there. Like they are, everybody is
Yeah.
so connected. So it's funny to see like how we've grown together. They
Yeah.
office out of my warehouse, so they
Oh,
have the office
yeah.
there. Alex's daughter works in the office and does his payroll and all
Yeah.
that. So I mean, we are just so
Yeah.
close, and it to me it warms my heart to see
Yeah.
like where we came.
Yeah.
Like we grew together.
Right.
When we first met, he had one truck. Now he's got six trucks,
Oh
Oh my
wow.
and
god, that's so
we have
cool.
just grown our businesses together.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
It's been so good.
Nice.
But I
Yeah.
love that because it's like you've affected and made an impact on a lot of other people as
Yeah.
well. And so I think we were talking about it. I think I don't know what we were talking about. Something about winning the lottery or something. But we were talking about how much satisfaction you get from actually helping other people than
Hmm.
you do just from having just
Your own.
random
Just
stuff.
doing it yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
getting it
So
yourself.
so but so that should feel really
It
really
feels so
good.
good, like just seeing it. I don't know if you guys know. Do y'all know Cruz that works with Rick Davis? He does the
Oh
photography.
yes, I do.
Cruise.
So
Yeah, yeah.
Cruz is Jose's son and Alex's
Oh,
nephew. The
Is he the
one,
guy
okay.
that was taking pictures at the event
yes,
last time?
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's giving you
Yes.
the microphone, I
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
think.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Cruz was 15 years old when
Oh
I met
wow.
them, and he would say, "Miss Nikki, I can do artwork. I can help you. I can help you
Oh
with
no.
your artwork." And Cruz never did the artwork, but then he started helping his dad
Yeah.
do the moving, and
Moving.
he helped his
Mhm.
uncle in the office. And Rick Davis came in the office one day, and he said, "Nikki, I need somebody. I just need to train a guy
Yeah.
to be a photographer because I have all this cool stuff that I'm
Yeah.
working on." And that morning, Cruz had showed me some pictures he took of his friends, like engagement photos. And he said,
Oh.
"Look, I'm starting to do photography." So when Rick said that, he came in my office. I said, "Cruz, come here." He came across to my office, and I said, "Show him the pictures that you took
Oh
this
my
morning." And
gosh.
that's how they got
Oh
connected.
wow.
And he's been with Rick ever since.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow. But
Wow.
see, that's what happens when I feel like obviously he was starting to do photography, but when
Yeah.
somebody comes up to you and gives you the opportunity, you're just so loyal to them. Just
Yes.
because you
Yeah.
feel like they're the reason that you are where you are now is because of them. And so I
Right.
feel like that to me that's what keeps me in a place, just the relationships that you have with people. And I
Right.
think, I mean, I moved to a smaller boutique brokerage from Keller Williams, where Frank was at, and it
Mhm.
was really different. And I kind of we don't consider ourselves kind of like just colleagues or a bunch of agents working under a brokerage.
Right.
We're very close.
Mhm.
All of us are really close. Our brokers really close to us. And so I feel like that's a
Mhm.
culture that I would not, it's just not worth losing
Mm-mm.
over anything.
Mm-mm.
So
It
so
feels
I
like
do
family.
understand that.
Yeah,
It
we
feels like
built.
that, and then you trust them. You
Yeah.
trust them so much.
Hmm.
And so I think trust in this industry, especially in real estate,
So.
it's so
Yeah.
important because some
Mhm.
people try to take advantage of others. And so just having the right people working along with you is just so
Yeah,
important to
yeah,
That's
me.
yeah.
true.
Yeah, we've grown really close
That's
within
cool.
the company or just friendships, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We have friendship and then business kind of thing,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
but
I
we
love
all
that.
work really good together.
And you have somebody to lean on. Like
Yeah.
you have
Mhm.
support.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, yeah. I'm just where do you see yourself like in the future? How is it? How have you continued to kind of work on growing your company? Where do you see yourself in like the next 5 years?
Did you ever think you were going to be there?
No, ever. Never, never.
Before you answer that question.
Never, never. I never thought that. So in 5 years, so I've started something new.
Mhm.
I am a part of this group called the Design Besties. So we are four different people from four different backgrounds. Um, and we have started we started a nonprofit. So it's an interior
Mm.
designer in New York, me, the stager. There's an artist based here in Dallas, and then a product inventor in Corpus Christi.
Mhm.
And we met at the furniture market. We became friends very fast, and we were like, "Hey, we need to do a project together." So we kicked around some ideas, some crazy stuff. They were talking about doing my back patio, and I was like, "That's crazy. I don't want to do my back patio." And a PTA from East Plano reached out to
Uh-huh.
me and asked me if I had some free furniture to donate because they wanted to redo their
Mm.
teachers lounge. And I said, "Send me some pictures." So they sent me pictures, and I was like, I think this is our project." So I
Yeah.
sent it to them. I said, "Hey, would y'all fly in
Mhm.
here and do this project with me?"
Right.
And they were like, "Yes, yes, yes," immediately. And we redesigned this teacher's lounge at Bowman Middle School in East
Wow.
Plano. It's Title One, and we did it on a Saturday. The teachers came back on Monday and they flipped. They were like, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful." Oh my,
Yeah.
they were like, this was the best thing. And they all needed it. Teaching school is
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah.
especially after COVID, because so many things change.
Yeah.
And middle school, I couldn't imagine being a middle school
Oh
teacher because
yeah.
they're trying to figure themselves out and they're
Mhm.
like all, bratty and whatever. So this was just a great impact on them. So
Yeah.
now we are starting to travel and do other schools across the
That's so
country.
Oh wow.
cool.
So we're going to do one in High Point, North Carolina, Columbus, Ohio, Brooklyn, New York,
Yeah.
Chicago, Illinois, Memphis, Tennessee, and Wichita, Kansas. So those are the schools that are on the
The list.
The
roster
showing.
to be up next. I feel like that's probably going to be my hobby, my give back thing, because
Yeah.
it doesn't cost the teachers anything. I feel like that's going to be, take up
Mhm.
some of my time. But I'm also working on some stuff here and development stuff here in
Yeah.
Dallas and trying to keep building because I started building in about 2019.
Yeah, because you
Okay.
built your
That's
house, right?
awesome.
We're
Mhm.
building our house
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I love it.
That's
It's
exciting.
so exciting.
That's
Yeah.
so cool though, what you're doing about the teachers lounge and stuff like that. Does that make you feel proud of yourself? Does it seem like, okay, I'm fulfilling my purpose?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that feels because teachers. I have a couple teachers in my
Mhm.
family. Educators, principals, and I know that how hard they work. And we've always
Right.
had like our favorite teacher. Everybody has their favorite
Yeah.
teacher that you
Yeah.
think about that made a change in your
Yeah.
life. And I have a favorite. Her name is Miss Watkins. She was my favorite. She was my second grade teacher in Pleasant Grove, and I talk to her now. Like I still talk to
Yeah.
her today. And you think about how hard they work, and there's so many programs for students and all that,
Yeah.
but the teachers
Uh-huh.
lounges are usually terrible.
The
Like
worst.
Right.
Yeah.
they're horrible rooms. They
Yeah.
put the old furniture in there where I
Mhm.
say where furniture goes to die. It
Yeah.
looks
Yeah. Yeah.
awful. They're usually like the microwaves don't work. It's just
Yeah.
a bad space. And trying to get them a place where they can actually take a break,
Right.
relax, maybe close their eyes
Yeah.
for a minute,
Mhm.
just or have a decent lunch.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, I think that's making a big impact on them. And then that
Yeah.
can impact the students and that can impact their families at home. Like we just want to make sure that we are taking care of the people that are taking care of
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
That's
kids.
awesome.
And yeah, I think that's really important. I think my son has had a really solid, at least three really good teachers that you can feel that they're not doing it for the money, because it's not
It's
about the
not about the
money.
money.
Yeah.
For teachers, they don't get paid enough and
Yeah,
they don't, but then you don't think about the impact that they're making on your kid's life at
that's
the end of the
right.
day. So I feel like those few teachers, they deserve the world. And I feel like what you're doing is really special.
Thank
And I
you.
know it'll come back to you.
Yes.
Yeah, but I appreciate you so much.
No,
And
thank
this
you for
is your
Thank
coming.
home.
you.
We
So
know you're busy, and
Thank you guys for having me. I
yeah,
enjoyed it.
yeah, I
okay,
know. And
awesome.
I mean, you wanna say something about your company or anything like that, or you just
Well, I mean,
The
find us
Science Squad.
online. We're at the Design Quad on Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, just reach out to us if you need anything.
and
Awesome. Always
see you on
well.
and see you on
Thank you,
TV soon,
Nikki.
maybe.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
See
yeah,
me on TV again. I mean, you can always stream
Yeah.
the shows.
Yeah.
They're out
Yeah,
there. But
yeah.
yes,
Well, I'm proud of you.
That's
thank
awesome.
you.
I hope to grow up to be like you one day.
Thank you,
Thank you for coming on, Nikki.
Thank
Nikki.
you.
That's